Now there's a variation. What we did in the first video was advance, double, disengage with the lunge. Now we're going to do a plain advance, and in the lunge do two motions, a double and a disengage. So you do advance, in the lunge, double, disengage. From your point of view, it looks like this. I advance, I start my lunge, I do a double to avoid the circular parry and a disengage to avoid the lateral parry. Once more, advance, there's my circle, there's my disengage. Advance, my double, and my disengage. So the first advance is just a simple advance and then two motions in the lunge itself. Advance, double, disengage. 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 In the lunge, two motions. Two more. You'll notice in this particular drill, I'm kind of holding myself in the air. And that is one choice you can do. I've seen it done by an Italian fencer beautifully. He sort of hangs like a ballet dancer in the air and hits. But there is another way to do it. So what I just did was sort of this, advance, double, disengage. So you can do that slow and then fast. Or if you are in close enough, you can do it all at one speed. You can go advance, double, disengage. Advance, double, disengage. Advance, double, disengage. Advance, double, disengage. So you might need that in a certain circumstance. You also might need the other where you feint a little slower and then finish quickly. All these things need to be trained so they're part of your repertoire. And then as you gain experience and as you practice, your body will do them at the right time. I remember clearly the first time having practiced these moves many, many times as a teenager, when all of a sudden I was in a situation and fast as lightning, of course, I went do disengage and hit the guy. Too fast for me to think. It was merely athletic reaction, just like a tennis player sticks out his or her hand to volley without thinking about it. So it takes many, many, many repetitions of this to get it in your repertoire, and it may come out at a key moment. It may be 4-4, and that one move will help you. Its brother or sister or cousin, if you like, is the opposite. Instead of doing a double disengage, we do a disengage, double. That's a little more like a corkscrew. So from your point of view, disengage under the lateral parry, and then double around the counter parry. Disengage first, then double. It's a mirror image. That is used for this kind of defense. I am now being the defensive fencer. I want you to visualize your blade coming in, and you do disengage first under my lateral parry. And from here, I'm going to make a counter 4, circle 4, and you're going to deceive it. So my defense is 4 counter 4, and again, there's always an answer. So your defense is disengage, and then a circle around my circle. So try to imagine that again. You do a disengage, an attack and a disengage, and your blade is here. I make a circle to try to find it, and you make a circle to answer, and you're back where you started from. Disengage, and then a circle, the high outside line. Once more, disengage. Here's your blade. You've deceived me by making a circle yourself and hitting me. So in this drill, we'll do the first advance, disengage, followed by a double. Advance, disengage, and double. Advance, disengage, double. Advance, disengage, and double. Advance, disengage, double. If you have a target, try to imagine, use your imagination to see the first 4 parry that you deceive with the disengage, and the counter 4 that you deceive with the double or circle. One more time. I'm coming at you now. You are the defensive fencer for this drill. I'm making my disengage attack. You missed me. You make a circle, and I make a circle to hit. That's different from what I did a minute ago when I was the defensive fencer. So, advance, disengage, and do blade. Advance, disengage, and do blade. Disengage, do blade. Again, 3/4 extension, enough to penetrate their space and threaten them, and draw out the parry so that you can deceive them and hit. Advance, disengage, and do blade. Advance, disengage, and do blade. Advance, disengage, and do blade. Perhaps I should say feint, disengage. You're feinting on this side, disengaging around the lateral parry, and then finishing. So feinting, disengaging, and do blade. Feint, disengage, do blade. Feint, disengage, do blade. Feint, disengage, do blade. And rest. So we'll do that again in a moment when we do the disengage and the do blade in the lunge, 2 motions. Theoretically, of course, you could do any number of motions in a lunge, but practically speaking, 2 is probably the most you can expect in a lunge. Even if you're like that Italian guy I mentioned who's sort of floating, you might get 3, but most times 2 is probably the max. So again, this is a difference in tempo and timing. Instead of going advance, feint, disengage, we're going advance, feint, disengage, do blade, all in one motion with our foot in the air when we lunge. Ready? Advance, feint, disengage, do blade, and recover and back. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade, in the lunge, recover and back. Needn't be fast for now. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade. Holding myself up so you can see it. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade. From your point of view, I'm coming at you now. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade in the lunge. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade in the lunge. Making this big for you. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade in the lunge. 10 of those. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade, and hit. Back. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade. In the lunge, advance, feint, disengage, do blade. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade. 5 more. Feint. Feint. And rest. When you practice those things, you need to practice them slowly and deliberately. Feint, disengage, do blade, disengage, whatever, 1, 2, not fast. At the end of a practice session, then you can speed it up and do it quickly. But accuracy is always more important than speed. Nobody's that much faster than anyone else in the fencing strip. So if the timing is right and your accuracy is good, speed is not as important. Let's do this with our non-dominant side for a moment. See if you can make your brain do this. This is an advance, disengage, do blade. So advance, disengage, and do blade. Go, advance, feint, disengage, and do blade. I'm not sure I did that right. Advance, feint, disengage, do blade. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade. 2 more. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade. 2 more. Advance, feint, disengage, and do blade. And rest. While we're taking a rest before the next one, which is the same thing we did a while back of parrying and counter riposting in the lunge, let's review parry positions. I'm going to call them out. I want you to do them, and then we'll check. 6, 4, 7, 8. We'll stick with those. Go back to your position when I call it, then I'll do it, and we'll compare. 6, 4, 7. Notice the supine, nails on top. 8. Same thing. 4, 8. 4, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8. We talk about time, I think about making a crescent that way. 7, 4, 7, 4. In practical terms, a 4-7 is a nice parry combination. If you miss the 4, as they disengage, you can catch it with the 7 and make a repost. Those are the supine nails up positions. There are 4 more with prone positions, palm down. So try that. Tierce or 3, cant or 5, prime, and second or 2. Tierce, it's like a saber position. Instead of 6, your hand is turned. Cant, which is like this, used for a very specific circumstance. Prime, I think we know, you point your elbow and you twist your wrist and you put the point as best you can on the target. And second is like octave or 8. Very natural, like smacking a mosquito off your leg. So tierce, second, tierce, second. Prime, tierce, cant or 5. Tierce is 3, like third. Second. And I'll do all of them. Ready? 6, 7, prime, second, 6, tierce, cant, or 5, 17, 4, octave, 6. So just make sure those are so automatic that you can do them without even thinking. Tierce is useful if you want to give a big whack to a blade, or if you want to stop one of those thrust or thrown attacks to your shoulder. Second is stronger if you want to knock out a low-lying blade. Octave is more subtle. It guides the blade past you as you get. We'll do more on that later. Now, we're going to do the same drill. We're going to stay in the lunge and make a counter riposte. So, advance, disengage, do blade. Stay here, make a 4 parry and a riposte, direct. Riposte from the lunge. Again, advance, disengage, do blade, parry, in the lunge, and riposte. Advance, disengage, do blade, in the lunge, parry, and riposte. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry, and riposte. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry, and riposte. Last one. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry, and riposte. Relax. I'm going to add a disengage riposte instead of a straight riposte. If you parry here, you will disengage your point under her parry and hit in the upper chest. But you can also hit in the lower. We'll do upper. So advance, disengage, do blade, parry 4, disengage, see your opponent's blade, go around it and hit. In the lunge position and recover. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry 4, disengage, riposte, and hit. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry 4, disengage, riposte, and hit. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry 4, riposte, disengage, and hit. Advance, disengage, advance, disengage, do blade, right. Parry 4, disengage, and hit. Relax. We'll do 5 of those, where in this case, the disengage is not in the high line, but in the low line. You parry 4 and you turn your hand like you're polishing a coffee table. You turn your hand and you hit in the flank. You will see my hand position is like 135. Point higher than my hand in the low line. Slowly, advance, disengage, do blade. Parry 4, disengage, or half disengage if you like. Into the flank, hand turned. Just like this, disengage to the flank. So while they're busy looking up top with their blade, you're busy sneaking underneath like a nuclear submarine. Ready? Advance, disengage, do blade. Parry 4, half disengage to the flank. Hand turn. disengage into blade, parry 4, half disengage to the flank, and turn. Advance, disengage to blade, parry 4, half disengage to the flank, half disengage. Advance, disengage to blade, parry 4 in a lunge, half disengage to the flank. One more. Advance, disengage to blade, parry 4, half disengage to the flank. The last parry we'll do from the lunge position is to counteract someone who, as is true of many folks, make these big sweeping 7 parries and try to flick you up here. So the counter, or the defense to that is to make a tierce position. Sometimes it's called a high 17 or high 7. We'll do it. You can visualize me attacking you. You make a big sweeping parry and you come down like a lightning bolt. I have to be here to meet your blade. Or if you're attacking me and I parry you, I may come this way, and you can see that you need to make a tierce parry. Now, if you're left-handed, you just have to find the mirror image of that, either against a lefty opponent or against a righty. So, advance, disengage, to blade again. Advance, disengage, to blade. Here's the parry, the tierce, to keep that whipping riposte from coming in. And then drop your hand, riposte to the flank or stomach. Advance, disengage, do blade. Let's say your parry, come to tierce, block it. In this position, drop your hand and riposte to the flank. Again, disengage, do blade, parry tierce, and riposte. Advance, disengage, do blade, parry tierce, and riposte. Advance, disengage to blade, parry tierce, riposte, 2 more. Advance, disengage to blade, parry tierce, riposte. Last one. Advance, disengage to blade, parry tierce, and riposte. At this level, even if you're a solid high school level fencer, you just need to practice the fundamentals over and over and over and over again until they're so automatic you find yourself doing them in your sleep, which most fencers I know, including myself, will talk to you. They have experiences like that. You're falling asleep and you're lunging all of a sudden. Kind of funny, but it says that it's really built into your musculature. Next session, we'll talk some about infighting. I don't have the camera set up for that right now. But we'll talk about ways that you can infight, which include motions like this, and behind the head motions. And if you want to get super fancy, if you're an Olympian, you can go behind the back. And if you're Miles Chamley-Watson, who's world champion in 2015, whose arms are as long as an albatross's, you can do this. But he's the only one I've ever seen do that. That's just a little icing on the cake. Again, basics are most important. I hope you'll use this video several times this week. And I'll see you next week. Thanks.